Hi, everybody.
Over to you.
Good to be here. At 10 minutes, let me give you some of my comments. The Just talk about some of the legal trends that we've been seeing in the M&A and private equity space. And I think to put it very briefly, in the year of the pandemic, a little before, and certainly this year as well, seen a shift in the way private equity has started thinking about India in terms of the commitment to our various startups. We have seen the number of unicorns that India has produced, and we're very proud of it. But behind that is the confidence of the ecosystem, the digitalization of the country, the consumer pull of the products that are being offered, and the fact that the pandemic has reinforced and made it much more of a habit to invest in the products that these unicorns are offering. So as a firm, we've done, over 10, 12 deals only for Tiger. There are other firms that have done a huge amount of deals for other investors in these startups. And the trend continues. So that is clearly one of the existing legal trends that we think is not going to change. If you look at the success stories of a Baiju or a Zomato or a Swiggy, the stories for themselves. The next thing is the main sectors that we think are going to continue to attract attention is going to be, again, if you put it in the context of digitization and the pandemic, are almost obvious. So you have healthcare. Healthcare has become even more prominent, and therefore M&A and investment in these sectors is even more attractive. And from your traditional hospitals, etc., you've gone into online medical consultation, and different products are coming up where companies are willing to take care of your every need, from consulting to choosing the doctor to getting the appointment, making a virtual consult, etc., etc. Hospitals have become very attractive to private equity simply because the need for health is acute, and the ability to provide it with good facilities is now becoming more and more competitive. And therefore, more people are willing to pay for good health treatment, and investment in these sectors is therefore. The next one is pharma. Nobody can debate why. That cuts across M&A and private equity. And especially in COVID year, we've seen the need for medicines, for APIs. And of course, in the beginning of the pandemic, don't forget, we were struggling with our generics in India of not being able to get a lot of APIs from China. So pharma, I think, will continue to attract a huge amount of interest. You can't, of course, forget classic geo investments where we had done 20 billion of investments into only geo in a period of 4 to 5 months in COVID year. That again showed the confidence of the global community in the geo footprint. And that continues with Reliance Retail and all the other ventures that Reliance is coming out with. We then look at tech, IT, ITES, Fintech. I mean, if you look at all these areas, there's only one way, and it's up. If you look at EdTech, everybody's seen how with social distancing of online education has become even more attractive. And therefore, again, PE and M&A shows a large amount of disproportionate interest in this area. Baiju is one example. Financial payments and M&A and PE in that has slowed down actually. I don't know why. It's probably because there's a lack of sufficient targets. But to my mind, this will always remain a very interesting area for anybody from outside India or even in India to invest in. Simply because how can you do without financial services in a country of 1.4 billion is severely underrepresented and underserviced? This business again can go up. Insurance is a huge fillip. with the reforms coming from the increase of FDI from 49 to 74. So this is the kind of space that you see coming up and continuing to sustain in the time to come. The next thing we see is there's a clear requirement by the world to want to shift their dependence on supply chains from China. And we are, of course, if we get it right, a happy alternative. We are pushing our own manufacturing in India agenda. We obviously have the capability as a workforce, get the technical skills as a workforce. We just need to get the story about the ease of doing business in India easier. And therefore, I think strategics will want to come and invest in hubs here. They will want to do M&A from offshore. There will be a lot of domestic M&A as well, simply because we are, I think, going to be the world's next significant manufacturing hub. I think that the investments from Japan and the United States will increase. The one development, has also been that India has pushed back on welcoming investments from China. And this has led to quite a few anomalies in the FDI space. And therefore, you see Chinese investment drop by over 70% in the last 2 years. This, of course, is a vacuum which the other countries are happy to fill up. And I don't think that we have felt any deep loss of interest from the other global players as a result of it. Although I do believe that the clarification the government needs to come out with about what they like, they don't like, is long overdue and should be done immediately. We then take the examples of the M&A of Tata's in Big Basket, Tata's in One Energy, Pharmacy in Thyrocare. All these tell you a story of everybody still being very bullish about this country. I personally think that there is so much dry powder of money raised in the world that India is a natural destination for where it has to come and sit. It is ours to lose. It's only for us not to shoot ourselves in the foot. And so I think that, the legal trends are positive. The creation of platforms for health, for hospitals, for digital are all going to continue. I think in the public market space, control deals are less, but I think they will pick up. The continuous legislation by SEBI, by IRDA is something I expect to continue as well. So these are my thoughts on what I see the landscape show. And I think Ravi, who's speaking next, to tell you about one of the most fascinating pieces of legislation we've had in recent times, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and watch these as the developments there. So thank you very much.